Good morning, it's Tiny the Lady Strange. Welcome to the weekly collective reading for the week of November 3rd of 2024. We're into November, we just had Pastor Samhain. I hope you all had a happy Halloween or Samhain or whatever you celebrate. At the time, it was unseasonably beautiful and gorgeous weather here in upstate New York. So I was grateful for that, to be able to hand out candy and see the kids' costumes outside, but be able to enjoy it with my husband after a day at work. Um, I'm glad I had the opportunity and that it was warm. Of course, Samhain being my favorite holiday, as I mentioned before. Again, it was a huge blessing and a huge good time. So yes. So getting into this, I don't know about you. Now, last week the cards that came up were Justice, Temperance, and the King of Pentacles. Well, and how he says, well, justice may and temperance serve you in certain ways, in a good way or in a bad way, or usually in between. Um, let's just say, and I'm trying to work through it as it's only been a couple of days, right on the brink of Samhain. Yeah, I made a major mistake or lapse of judgment, momentary lapse of reason, kind of like the Pink Floyd song says. So yes, so I don't know how justice and temperance is actually playing out for me from last week, but I do feel some strange mixed messages and cryptic energies in there with that. But again, my outcome and things have not been defined. I'm working through them. I'm okay, as you can see. As I always say, I'm still standing. So just another opportunity to learn, to embrace, and just move forward the best that I can. So just figured I'd put that little ramble out there like I usually do. So again, being the collective reading, I hope you all had a great week, as I mentioned, and I hope you found a sense of justice in a healthy, balanced way and temperance, and you had your grounded authority. I hope that affected you all well. I know certain aspects of that were positive for me. I do have to take that into consideration. Just life deals a lot of challenges and a lot of adversity at points. And a lot of tower moments, as I always say. But again, it's how we work through them and what we learn, and reflect on that makes us better for ourselves and therefore our relationships. The choices we do or don't make, big or small, do affect many others and many ripples, whether it is past, present, or future. So with that being said, the past, present, and future, this is the weekly collective reading. Now this goes from today, Sunday, to this upcoming Saturday, which will be the 9th. Let's see what the universe and the spirits and guides and what is being channeled through me and through the cards for this upcoming week, for whomever this may apply and resonate to, as guidance for the week. And this is my new deck, and there's many videos on this out there. It's gorgeous, by Syrian Shadows. It's a Gothic Literature Tarot. I had to jump on it when I saw it. This is the 4th deck I have by him. You can watch one of my previous 31 Days of Strange that was released for last month, that you could see one of his many decks. This is his first tarot, I believe. There were 3 oracles I own. This is indie, but they tend to go quick, just like the Haunted Manor, where it's out of print. So if you've seen it, there's lots of great videos that give it actually grace out there, and check it. I have a jumper, that's why I'm also showing that. Just look at the backs on this. I have a jumper, and I'm going to set this aside. Got Death, the jumper that came out. The jumpers that so far is Death. What an interesting way to set that aside. And appropriate for many reasons for this time of year as we shift between the changes of seasons, time, the clocks being changed, the political climate, which is going to be a big fucking whatever, but let's just put it that way. We'll just deal, all of us, deal in the best ways we can. And of course, just to see what energies to be mindful, aware of, or that may help to guide us through each of our different situations in this life and what changes have already come into and are coming into effect. So what does the collective need to know? What does the collective, whom this may apply to, or overall, guidance, energies, and perspective this week? Again, these are just energies to be mindful of. Things can change day to day, moment to moment. Just remember that. Cards are just more of a guide or message you need to hear, not predictive. And again, another jumper. This deck seems to like to do that, even though I had it on selling on Halloween. Every time I pick it up, it jumps. Lovely cards that way. So let's see what in this card it has for us. So the Nine of Chalices. This deck is just everything. So far, I'm in love with it. So far with, I'm going to start off with this. I'm going to just do as I'm guided this week. So with death, which is the first jumper. So with death, there is, the only thing that is predictable in this life is change and change itself. Beginnings and an in-between. Birth, the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, meaning our soul, in my practice and my beliefs, always moves on or moves on to another stage after we're no longer in this physical vessel of this life. But death is the only thing that is certain. And death not meaning just physical death, but also death of old patterns, old relationships, jobs, friendships, things that no longer serve us. Things that will evolve that once were beginning to create something new and new lessons and opportunities, but also to bring about an ending of perceptions, endings of old patterns, circumstances, through reflection. Death doesn't wait for anyone, but again, it is necessary for the life experience also, and for things to grow and be reborn. So I see that because we're stepping into, like I said, the change of seasons, the time change, political climate, weather, financial circumstances, our relationships like we have with ourselves. So yes, so death in this case is embracing what's coming to an end, but also what's coming to be. I feel that that's going to be playing a big part of a change as we are here this week and into November, from what I am being guided with, or what the powers that be are indicating to me. Now with the Nine of Chalices, which is obviously chalices, are cups. Cups are emotions, relationships, relatively energy and interactions and perceptions of what we see. So again, as we perceive the change and the endings and the beginnings that are coming, have been, and already have been foreshadowing the inevitable, of course, the deep, shadowy aspects of life, but also embracing the learning that comes from it, and learning to integrate those experiences, those lessons of those beginnings and endings and in between. The Nine of Cups is or chalices in this deck, is actually, is always in the tarot, or as I've always known it, since I've been doing it for almost 30 years, is the wish card, they call it. It is a card of you're wishing for something, wanting or needing something, your needs being met, feeling emotionally fulfilled, stable, the law of attraction, creation, manifestation, whatever you call it, having harmony in your life, your circumstances, your emotions, your relationships, no matter what those may be, or what your path is, or whom you are. So it's almost like the prayer card we got this past week. Your prayers be answered. So what you've been wishing for or needing, or what needed to be provided with, or helping others, is going to be coming into play this week. So things may not be exactly as expected if you're like me and you're kind of in that whole thing, trying to find balance in that fulcrum state from what, glad it's only been a few days for me, from my circumstances. But again, it's still to see, hopefully being optimistic in a healthy way, though. Again, negativity's fine, and looking back of what I could have changed, um, or what could have been differently. But that is actually the power of perception in the Nine of Cups too. It's the ability that if you're still here to reflect on what the good that comes of things and the abundance and blessings we have as we move toward the inevitable changes of death and life. So some answers this week of positive things and wishes or prayers are going to be answered. Now, again, prayers don't always have to be religious things. Prayers can be something that you really want or need, or that is going to help you, even if it's exactly not what you think. Now, let's see. So next card that is coming up. For the collective this week, that this message may resonate with and apply to. Should be more mindful. I'm going to shuffle and pull another card to go with death and the Nine of Chalices this week, as I'm being guided to do so. Okay, we got the Three of Chalices. Another Crowley, my cat. Of course, that's what you get when I film in the living room, but my witch room is pretty cold. So yeah. So basically the Three of Chalices is another Cups card and another card of emotions, of relationships and perceptions, feelings, and how we see the world and how the world sees us and certain things, circumstances that shape our experience and feelings and energies and our intuition at that. Now, the Three of Cups is an interesting card because obviously it shows on most celebration or need to celebrate, the need for abundance, happiness, positivity, and unity. Unity with oneself, unity with one's relationships, whether it be a partner, a friend, family member, their job, their path working, their spirituality, their magic, or just overall. Three of Cups is always like a kind of raising your cup as a knot. So I guess this week is saying that despite the endings and changes coming, there is always some unity in there to look at those blessings and to that support you have. There is, to everything that may be very negative, there is always the silver lining in those clouds, as they say, but also every positive situation may have the opposite. There's a catch-22 in every situation to find balance. But the Three of Cups is saying, with unity, with support and relationships and looking at those abundances, things are going to start looking up through those cycles of change that are inevitably have been happening. Let's see, I'm just going to pull another card from that. And we get the Ace of Skulls. Again, this is a hauntingly beautiful deck. So basically, the Ace of Skulls is the Ace of Pentacles. We get an Earth card there. So this is a material, practical, the mundane, as they say, the work, your finances, your home, that which is tangible, your physical items, things that are keeping you grounded, things that you're putting effort for. So there is opportunity in death this week, in what is being taken away or being given away or just has found its time, is expiring. There's that new beginning balance with it. There's a lot of balance and positivity coming in with that. Death being, I feel, is very important in the reflective change of this week of our circumstances and how we embrace and experience them and how we bring them forward. Of the experiences of that for ourselves and our relationships, to look to our support systems and our unity and what makes us feel unified and satisfied and those around us. Those simple gestures, words, and mindfulness that we can bring to a circumstance or changes. Also looking at our blessings, even if it's not at that, do we have exactly what we need? That's what's also going to be in there to bring us fulfillment. and a good foundation as new opportunities such as a job, maybe a small financial windfall that you need to cover those bills or to bring something new in, a new job, a new circumstance, a new rooted energy of getting ready. The aces are to always bring in foundational elemental creation and alchemy. So there's a lot of new beginnings and a lot of fulfillment coming this week. Um, and new perspective, I feel, and one thing trickling into another. So that's what the tarot says for this week so far, and I'm going to be pulling from, as part of this message, is going to be from the Fallen Angel Oracles. I forget the creator. This is one of my favorite oracle decks. She's very beautiful, honest, straightforward. She's an excellent clarifier and full of wisdom. And just beautiful as the cemetery images. So let's see, what to clarify what the collective needs to know for the message that's already coming up, and being guided towards and being guided through to best prepare ourselves and whomever this may apply for everything that's coming up and will be experienced, seen, and felt overall for ourselves and others. And here's another jumper. These do have fallen angels or goetic demons on them, but I read them for the, in this case, as I use it for the words and as clarifier. Now look at this, just like that death card. See how the cards and the messages and the guides do come out as a needed message or clarification. It is a new chapter. So with death brings a new chapter, as they say, as I was saying earlier. So doesn't the Nine of Chalices and Three of Cups is indicating a new chapter, a new era, a new way of looking, experiencing things, taking opportunity from death to embrace those new opportunities. And what else? What was that? Upheaval. Now, in this message, upheaval can be a negative thing, like I've recently experienced yet again, but I'm not a victim. I am a warrior. So yes, therefore it's evidence I'm still standing. And the blessings that have so far come out of the situation on many levels. But upheaval is just, in this case, is despite upheaval of the world's climate, meaning, well, besides weather changes, I'm talking about energetic, political climate, emotional climate, financial adversities, war, and what we're seeing. Despite that upheaval, it is an opportunity to bring in and herald a new chapter with our interactions, our perspectives, how we step for ourselves, and what matters to us, and having integrity and not giving in to, like I said, for my year reading I just did on Samhain, from Samhain to Samhain 25, like a year-end guidance, to stay integral for ourselves and others, and not to hate as much. If we feel feelings of negativity, hatred, and anger, it's fine to feel those. See why you're feeling that way, move through it, flow through it. Don't repress it, but flow through it. Get the help if needed from a therapist or those you trust. Journal, talk yourself through it. Take that walk. Have the extra cup of coffee if need be. But yes, that upheaval is going to bring about new chapter. All those upheavals do bring blessings and upheaval chapters. I know I need to be 100% reminded of that. So this is as much for myself as everyone else. I'm being guided to pull one more. And just be aware of danger of falling into that negative patterns of the upheaval and endings that might seem like a tragic ending. Don't let that define you. Don't give into the danger of loathing, self-hatred, or blaming others and taking the route of scapegoat. Look for your part of how you play in a situation and how the world and other things play a part in your situation, circumstances. Nothing's really wrong. Everything's a lesson and experience, even if it's not the obvious, and maybe you never find the actual root, but it is what it is. I don't see these as being, those two last ones being relatively negative as much as they're just trying to be a clarifier and advisory to deal with upheaval and not give into it as much and flow through it and acknowledge it. Don't repress it and hold on things. Get the help if needed. There's plenty of resources out there. There's people that are willing to listen. Your guides, to their extent, are willing to listen. And lastly, of course, from the Haunted Manor Oracle, who always makes into the readings, but is a sister deck to the Gothic Literature Tarot, so appropriate. Again, such lustful, beautiful cards of the Gothic nature and speak to the nature of intuition, beauty, the shadow, that the changes and that which lies beneath, but also the illumination of light. So let's see what advice you have for the collective this week to deal with that message and help work through the energies and what they need to know to get through it in advisory. Crowley. This one seems to be a favorite for the deck that comes up in there. Ground yourself. With the Ace of Pentacles or Ace of Skulls I showed you, ground yourself. So stay rooted. Stay rooted, like I said, in yourself, in your resources, what you have, your perspective, your support system, like the roots of the tree or the trunk. Stay rooted in your strength, your intelligence, your logic, and what you do have in abundance. And one final card. Antique Key. Unlock your potential. I'm a big, in my magic and my practice, as I work with key magic. As Hecate, one of her symbols and tools is keys. So unlock your potential, unlock your doors and your opportunities that death and change is bringing. And with that 9 of chalices and the unity of the 3 of chalices, to work through upheaval and avoid danger of falling into the same patterns and traps of the past, or what is actually that is on the surface level, but look beneath the surface and illusions of that. And of course, look to a new chapter. Bring in and herald a new chapter for yourself. Despite what's happening externally in the world and around us, we can always look within and how we can make our own selves and our own relationships and our own life, what we can do and choose to do to move through it and move forward with it. So I feel it's going to be a very interesting week. But I think it's going to be a lot more blessings and stability is going to come into it. So if you had a week of hard justice, like I did, and still am in, I think things are going to start looking up again. If you had a positive week with Justice Temperance, let me know below. Or if any of these readings or previous readings resonate with you. I appreciate you watching, and if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, as that helps my channel grow and know that I'm reaching others as they reach me. And with that, stay strange and blessed be.